So now we know how to work with CSV files. So let's create a simple script or group system. So what we're going to be doing is we will be asking user to enter the username or name and age or roll number and stuff like that, and we will be storing that in a CSV, and we will be doing like complete group. So your user will be able to store records in a CSV, update the existing record, delete a record from a CSV, and list the records from a CSV. So let's just jump in. So we are going to be using function. So let's create a function to add a record into a CSV. So let's create a function that is add record, and here it has params that are name and age. So now what we're going to be doing is we will create a custom object, let's say data, and then that is equal to ps custom object, and here we have the name as well as age like this, and we can import that is the export CSV. So export CSV and dash path flag, and we will pass the path. So we are going to be using the path in many places. So let's create a variable. It's the CSV underscore file underscore path, and that is let's say records dot or data dot CSV. Now we will have to append our data into that CSV file. So export CSV dash path is CSV underscore file underscore path, and then no type information, and then false, and then the append, so that each time we call this method it will append our data into that CSV. So let's try that out. So what I'm going to do is all I need to do is we can directly add and call this add record method, but let's ask user to enter record and then add that data to the CSV. But for now let's add record manually because we will have to manage that many times. So add record and then dash name, and let's say Tauseed, and dash age is let's say 45. And now if I save this, let's execute the script, and here we have data.csv, and it has the two the record, that is Tauseed, and 45 is age. So now we can add another one, let's say Zaman, and age is let's say 55. Come here, execute, and come to the CSV. We have two records. So now the add record is perfectly working fine. Now we need to add the update record in a CSV. So let's create that one. So in the update one, we will also have these things like this is the update record, and here we have the name and age parameter, but we have the existing name. So we will be updating the records based on the existing name. So let's say we want to update the name or age, but we have to pass the existing name so that we can pick that in the given CSV. Now we have to loop through that and find that existing data. So what we're gonna do is import the existing data. So let's say data is equal to import CSV and dash path flag, and pass the CSV underscore file underscore CSV file underscore path, and now we have the CSV. So now we can like loop through that, like data is equal data and 5 that to the, or like we can create an object like data and 5 that to for each object as we did before, and here we will pass expression like if the name is matched, then go ahead and add the updated values that is passed here, that is a name and age. So here we have to add condition like the $_ name is equal to the existing name that is passed in the parameter, second parameter, and here we have to do like $_ name is equal to the name that is passed as the first parameter, not age name, and set the age to the $_ age or capital H, and equal to that the third parameter that is passed. So this will update the name and age of that that record. So now we can get out of this loop, and here we can export this data. So latest data and export that to the CSV. We can copy this code and paste that right here. It should have the latest records, but we have to not append this and remove the append one. Now if I come here and call the update record U with capital, now we have to pass the existing. So let's say the existing name is let's see in the data.csv. Let's say I want to update the first record. So the existing name is Tauseed, but I want it to be changed with Tauseed Zaman, and let's say the age is 51. So now if I save this, let's see how it goes. So I will come to the terminal and execute the script.ps1. Come here and see, as you can see, now we have the Tauseed changed to Tauseed Zaman as a first row. So now we can do the same for deleting a row from the CSV. So for that we can use the, let's copy this one because some of the things will be exactly the same. So let's call this delete underscore record, and it will have only one parameter, and that is the name. So we will be removing a record based on the name passed as a parameter. So now here we have we can import, yeah, we will have to import it, but here we have to use the where object as we saw in the learning process. So where object, and set this to like dollar underscore that name that is not equal to the name that is passed as a parameter, so like this. And now we have to create a variable of this, so we can create the data variable like this as well. We can call it like new data, or this will like renew the data variable. So let's say filter data or new data, and then import that data to export that data to the CSV, and like this. So now this will delete that record from the CSV. If I save this, and let's call this method. So come here, delete underscore dash record, and now if I pass the name, let's say Zaman, but here it seems to be delete record, right? So copy this, come here, paste it like so. So now if you come here to the CSV, we have this record. Let's say I want to remove that one, so I pass the name and it should remove that record. So now if I save this, come here to the terminal and execute. Now let's see if we have, as you can see, now we have removed that record from the CSV. So now we can delete the record, we can update the record, we can add the record. Now the next thing is to read the record. So let's do that. So for reading the record, we do not have to pass any parameter, or we can pass like parameter to get a single record and pass the name and return the whole details. We can do that as well. But for now, let's say I want to read all the record, so I will copy this method, and let's say read records, and here it does not accept any parameter. And what we're going to be doing is we will be looping through each of that record that is in the CSV file and print that. So we'll be using for each object, and here we do not have to pass any condition. So here we will print like the index number, the age, as well as the name of the user. So for the name, for the index number, we have to pass like the counter, or instead of counter we can use the $index as well. So now we have the loop. So what we're going to do is we will just display that. So write host, and here let's say the first thing is the index, so print the index by using the special or automatic variable, and then add a comma here, and then we will have the name and then the age. So we will do that like um, print the name, so name colon and then the name variable, so we can do like dollar underscore dot name and then the age, so age colon and then the same syntax here, so dollar underscore age. So now if I save this, come here to the terminal and execute the script.ps1, it did not work because we need to call this method. So I will copy that here and paste it like so. So now if I execute, it has one record, the index is not shown. Seems like the index is not working here. So let's do one thing, like if I duplicate the record and come here, so it means the index is not working. So we can do like if I initialize a variable like a counter as I did before, so counter is equal to 0 and each time we execute that I will increment the counter, so counter plus plus, and here print the counter variable. So now if I save this, from here as you can see now we have two records, that is 0 and 1 index and the name in the edge of displayed. So now we can do the same for displaying one record. So what we're gonna do is I will copy this one and let's call this read dash single record, and here we will like pass the parameter which will be like a name. So I will copy this because we will have to use the same thing, and not here, here actually, so paste that here, and now we will pass the name and we will just need to display that name. So what we can do is we will do through each of that record and display only the one that matches the condition. So we can use this one, so copy that and come here, we do need the loop, so I will remove that, paste this and remove these two lines, and whenever the condition is matched I want to do these things. So now what we're going to do is based on the name pass is a parameter, we have to print the record from the CSV. So import CSV, and then for each of that, if the name is matching, then just display the name and age. We do not need the counter here because it's only one record. So if I save this, let's call this single read single record method like this, and here I will have to pass the name tag, and let's say we only have one record I guess, so I will pass dash Tauseed Zaman. So remove this, or let's change the name so see if this is perfectly working. So let's say the second record is Zaman and 51, or let's change it to 31, and now if I save this and come here and execute, as you can see now we have the record that is Tauseed Zaman and age is 51. So that is like the complete CRUD operation in PowerShell and exporting and importing CSV. See you in the next section.